What is up, YouTube? My name is Analyn, and I'm eating right now, but I really wanted to make this video in memory of Wes Craven because, I think it should be done. I do have things to say for once, and, with all the celebrities that pass away, besides Robin Williams, this is probably the most, something that actually impacts me because, I'll tell you why. Because you guys probably don't even know who he is. So, Wes Craven is basically the director / creator of some of the best slasher movies that have ever been created, which includes the Scream franchise and Nightmare on Elm Street. Scream, oh God, Scream is an amazing series. I don't know about the fourth one or the third one, but the first one, you just can't beat the first one, and the second one, the beginning was kind of slow, but when they got to the killing, it got real. I love the Scream franchise. The funny thing about Nightmare on Elm Street, and I have a funny story about this, I decided to start watching it yesterday, and the crazy thing is that I never really had the urge to watch Nightmare on Elm Street until yesterday for some odd reason. I don't know, because I knew it was going to have an old feel to it, and I wasn't really looking for that at the moment. I was looking for something to actually scare me, because I'm a die-hard horror fan, so I'm trying to find, the greatest horror movie of all time, whatever that means. Basically, I want to find a movie that genuinely scares me, and something I can't really make fun of. Something that I can't find a loophole in. And, I just decided to watch Nightmare on Elm Street just for the hell of it, just to do it. And, because it's one of the classics. It's one of those things where you have to watch it. It's kind of like Scream or Friday the 13th or Halloween. It's just one of those essential horror movies. And I just never got around to watching it. But yesterday, for some reason, I decided to do that. And I posted a picture on Instagram and everything, and I had a bowl of popcorn, and I was like, hey guys, I'm watching horror movies with popcorn. What's up? And one of my family members commented and said, oh, in memory of Wes Craven? And I was kind of confused. I was like, Wes Craven? What? So I looked up recent news about Wes Craven, and it said that he passed away. And I was really creeped out because I had no idea until I saw that, and I started freaking out. And, I guess it's just one of those things that just, I don't know if it's a coincidence or if, Wes Craven is, die-hard horror fan. Okay, watch Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know what's happening, but, yeah, but in all honesty, though, Wes Craven, he just, he was a genius. He was a mastermind of slasher movies. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, it still impacts today. They just keep making Screams, and they made a Scream TV series, and that by itself is amazing. But also, the references never stop. Everyone's always going to reference Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street. And it's just one of those things. And oh my God, I've been watching horror movies every weekend with my sister for the past year because we are just obsessed, and we have this thing where, every single time we're together, we're like, we want to get scared. We want to watch a horror movie right now. We start to have withdrawals, I start to have withdrawals on weekdays without her, and I'm like, I have to wait. And sometimes I just run to the store and go buy a horror movie to bring for the next weekend. Sometimes I just watch it by myself first because I just really need to watch a horror movie. When you start to watch horror movies, you kind of get to the point where you're immune to the jump scares, and you just become obsessed because you just want to watch a horror movie where everyone gets killed, where everyone gets, just scared the crap out of and then traumatized for the rest of their lives. I don't know what it is. It's just horror movies are really fun to watch because it's fun to, find the different layers and find out the different not really stereotypes, but like you can break down a horror movie pretty easily because it starts off really calm and like with a peaceful family, and they're just like, don't you wish you had this family? And then like in the middle or near the ending, it's like, oh, you don't want this family. They are gonna all die. So I don't know. There's just a thing about horror movies and the situations that you put yourself in while watching a horror movie. It's just, there's something about it that just really makes it addictive. You know what I mean? And I just love a good raw horror movie. It's just my favorite thing to do. It's just my favorite thing to sit down and watch a horror movie with. Either by myself or with someone. It doesn't matter. I'll always love it. It is more fun with someone, though. Just saying. But yeah, Wes Craven, he was just... When I figured out that he wrote or created the Scream franchise and Nightmare on Elm Street, I lost it because those are some of the most influential horror movies. Like, it just set the tone for all horror movies from then on, for the most part. I mean, Scream is mostly just being very self-aware about horror movies. Like, they set the rules for horror movies, and it was really, really self-aware about the franchise, and it was so cool. And in the other sequels, I like how they referenced, the first one and the ones from the beginning all the time. It was a cool series. And I love how, they're super aware, like, in a horror movie, you never say "be right back," or in a horror movie, you don't drink, you don't have sex, you don't say "be right back." Those are the rules, and it's always those stereotype where it's always the girl, the very vulnerable girl with the big boobs and kind of like slutty, and that was what Scream was about. It was to point out all those cliches, and I really like that about the movie. Nightmare on Elm Street was more, it was really twisted. I mean, the thing is, when I say twisted, it's not really a bad thing, because I love people with twisted minds. They're just kind of always thinking, and they just think differently from everyone else. That's why Wes Craven, he was genius. He had a twisted mind, and it was amazing, and I loved it. Every minute of it, and we could see it in every one of his movies, so... Yeah, he didn't leave this world in oblivion. He'll be remembered for a long time because of his movies. He already was, and he wasn't even gone yet. Now I feel like horror movies are going to make a comeback because of him passing away, which I'm not saying that, I'm glad he's dead, but, like, it happened for a reason, and horror movies, they started to do a drop because there's not much creativity anymore, because now it's all just about exorcism. All of the paranormal movies today are mostly about exorcism, and I'm starting to get a little tired of it. The only good movie that was most recent was probably Poltergeist. That one was cool. And I like how the characters weren't actually completely vulnerable, and they actually fought back, Yeah, I'm a diehard horror fan, and I always will be. And, Wes Craven was a part of that. Maybe not all of it, because he didn't direct all of my favorite horror movies, or some of my, like, really, really favorite ones. But he did set the tone for slasher films, and I do believe he impacted, that genre. He really did. He really left his footprint, so... I just wanted to say a thanks to him. He did some amazing things. He's a pretty influential person, because horror movies are mostly what directors and movie makers, that's what they look up to nowadays. I don't know why, but horror movies, those are the best films because they had the most special effects, you know what I mean? And they required a lot of thinking and creativity, so that's something to look up to, and that's just... I love the horror genre, nonetheless. I'm not a movie maker or going to be a director or anything, but I really do love the horror genre, because it's just... You're not sitting there in your seat just watching and crying and stuff. Well, you are, but for a different reason, because someone just died. A violent, very violent death. And then you get jump scares and stuff, and now I'm immune to those, though, because I watch too many horror movies. But, yeah, Wes Craven will be definitely remembered for years. And, you know, he already started out that way. That's right when he came up with Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street. We already knew he was going to be remembered for that. So yeah, Wes Craven, you bloody genius. Thank you for the jump scares and the screams and the terrifying nightmares. Thank you so much. You are an amazing, influential person, and I refuse to talk about you in past tense because you're always going to be right here on our TV screen on our TV screen. Still trying to give us jump scares. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.